Hey guys, this is Illusion PODFIC, and today we're going to be reading Jason Todd's Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Week by Celinda Boo. This is Chapter 3. At the Manor. Dick couldn't help the feeling of deja vu passing over him as he paced the length of the living room floor. Mind a storm of worry that made it hard to think and impossible to relax. Tim sat on a couch nearby, nursing his probably fifth cup of coffee, whilst looking over the evidence on his laptop for the umpteenth time, searching for anything they might have missed. Damian was out with Steph and Cass, still upset that he had to go to school instead of helping Dick and Tim find Jason the day earlier. Even disguised under his usual callous personality, Dick could tell Damian was worried out of his mind. So, what are we going to do? Duke was sitting on the ground writing something in one of his notebooks. He had been listening to his brothers talk over Jason's disappearance for the last 45 minutes, absorbing everything they told him. His eyebrows had pulled together in a furrow about 15 minutes in, worry painting his face. "We need to contact Dad," Dick admitted begrudgingly. "It's been 2 days since Jason went missing, and all we have is that he most likely got kidnapped by a meta that doesn't fit the description of any villain currently out on the streets of Gotham. Like it or not, we're out of our depth." "That's not an option. He's on a JLA mission, and you know what that means," Tim said. The younger boy looked terrified, hair disheveled and face a mask of coffee-induced wakefulness. "He'd return in a second if he knew Jason was in danger, and you know it, Tim," Dick growled, immediately regretting his words. "Sorry, just... worried? Me too, Dick," Tim sighed, placing down his laptop and rubbing his temples. "I don't doubt he'd come back. It's just that the only way to contact him is through the JLA computer in the watchtower. Never mind that we don't know where that is, or that Dad pointedly told us to never contact the League." He flopped backwards onto the couch with a sigh, miraculously not spilling a single drop of coffee as he did. "I've met Flash before, you know," Dick grumbled. "Fine, you're right. Secret identities come first. And if we somehow manage to leak Dad's identity, he'd kill us. We should keep the option open, though." "Meaning?" "Meaning he specifically said we weren't allowed to contact the League. Not that we couldn't find and break into the watchtower to contact him." Tim jerked up from where he was lying to stare at Dick. "Really? You're letting me track down the watchtower? As in the only JLA base we haven't been able to find? That B only talks about in passing and avoids questions about?" He breathed, a mischievous smile pulling at his features. "Is that even possible?" Duke asked. "Sure it is. We just need to retrace where Dad's tracker went before he left Earth, and we'll find it." Tim chugged the rest of his coffee, lunging for his laptop, and began to type something into it. "The Zeta tube's going to make it a bit difficult, but his tracker should have popped up where the base is." "Not so fast, Timmy." Dick pushed his laptop closed with a small thunk. 3-day rule. "Hey!" Tim pulled it open again, closed a few programs, and shut it again at his brother's glare. "What's that?" Duke asked, perking up. "I thought B had a 24-hour rule." Right. I keep forgetting you weren't around during Jason's kidnapping period." Dick sat down across from Duke, a wistful smile pulling at his features. "Jason used to purposefully get himself kidnapped when he first rejoined the family, just for kicks. We implemented a 3-day don't-do-anything drastic policy, since most of the time we got halfway through rescuing him, only for him to break out anyway. Usually, all that resulted in more problems, since we have a tendency to be a bit impulsive when we think someone in the family is in danger. We don't want to do anything stupid, and breaking into the Justice League HQ just to contact B would definitely qualify as stupid," Tim said, rolling over onto his stomach. "But I should at least get working on it." "B prefers it when we obey the rule, especially when it comes to contacting him while he's out in League business," Dick explained. "So tomorrow we start looking into the watchtower." "Okay, cool. I'll start working as soon as I can." "Nuh-uh, Tim. If you start working before 10 a.m. tomorrow, I'm going to bench you. You need sleep," Dick chided, flicking his younger brother's forehead. "I'm the one doing the research. I can just follow you," Tim shot back. "Not with Alfred looking over you." The younger boy cursed under his breath. "Fine," Tim relented, flipping his laptop open again. "I just need to finish typing up the report, then I'll go to bed." "Let me do it. You need the rest." Dick closed the laptop again, shooting his brother a glare. "You haven't slept since you found out Jason was missing." "Neither have you." "I can do it," Duke piped in. "You spent nearly an hour running through the case with me. I can write it." "Thanks, Duke." Dick smiled, looking at his brother with a grateful expression. You're a lifesaver. What are siblings for, man? Get some sleep, I got this. But even as Dick got ready for some much-needed sleep, he couldn't keep the mission out of his head. Jason had to be okay. He had to. And hopefully, once Bruce was here, he'd be able to confirm that. A couple days wait, and Jason would be home. All he had to do was wait. Dick hated waiting. In the watchtower, Diana was stressed. More specifically, she'd been stressed for the past 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, Flash started acting weirdly. His usual lighthearted jokes became a lot more malicious. He'd become more aggressive and snappy during League meetings. That was enough to put her on edge, especially in light of Batman going on a mission a week later. Not to mention that outburst during Red Hood's interrogation. She'd been meaning to ask him about that, but with him spending the 2 days since the interrogation holdup in Central City, she hadn't exactly gotten the chance. She could say that she wasn't slowly getting driven up a wall by him, but if she did, she'd be lying. And then there was Red Hood himself. The man was impossible, constantly running circles around anyone they sent into the interrogation room. Clearly, he was intelligent, seeing as he'd managed to figure out the League's identities, but she wasn't sure what he was trying to do. For someone who seemed so quick-witted, getting himself sent to Arkham or Blackgate would have been the easiest way to escape. But he'd purposefully got himself stuck here in limbo, threatening to reveal their identities if they sent him away. She didn't know what game he was playing at, but it clearly wasn't good. Diana? She startled, turning around to find Clark offering her a cup of coffee. Thanks. She took the cup out of his hand, taking a long sip. What is going on? Nothing. Just wanted to talk to you about Hood. He sat down, nipping at his own cup, and doing his best to suppress his nose from wrinkling with disgust. He hated coffee with a burning passion, but still drank it for some reason. We can't keep him here forever. But we can't let him go at risk of revealing the League's identities, Diana replied. We need to wait until Batman is back. He's a lot more familiar with Hood than we are. He won't be happy that we went into Gotham without his permission. Clark took another sip of coffee, failed to suppress a disgusted shiver at the taste, and placed the cup down. Never mind that Hood's drug trafficking ring was leaking into Metropolis, and is still influencing Central City according to Flash. Is that why he has been so aggravated the last few weeks? Diana asked. She knew the ring had been influencing places other than Gotham and Metropolis, but she never would have guessed anywhere so far as Central City. Clark sighed, picking up the coffee cup decisively and drinking half of it in a single gulp. I don't know. He seems so different than usual. I thought it would get better once we captured Hood, but it seems like he's less involved in the trafficking ring than we thought. It's not in Flash's nature to deal with his problems with anger. Something else is going on here, but I'm not sure what, Diana said. Back to the issue at hand. Batman is returning next Tuesday. What should we do with Hood until then? Keeping him in his cell up here, I guess. Doing another interrogation might be worth it too. We still haven't gotten anything about the drug trafficking ring, he said. We need to find a way to use the lasso on him. Remember the first time we tried to put it on Hood? Diana shivered at the memory. The lasso had reacted to some sort of toxin in his veins, causing him to thrash even while unconscious and vitals to drop sharply. Hence why their initial interrogation had been done without it. Adam took some of his blood to analyze, but the results aren't back yet. Until then, we can't risk it for fear of killing him. We'll just have to wait and see then. Diana hated waiting. Alright guys, and that's the end of chapter 3 of Jason Todd's terrible, horrible, no good, very bad week by Slenderboo. I hope you guys liked it, and we'll see you next chapter.